Welcome to this week's Cherry Bomb. We've decided we want to get it a little sexier this week, I'll spice it up a little bit, girls. So talking about sex during the time of the Rona, it can be self-care, if you're not in a relationship or you don't have someone to necessarily quarantine sex with. So yeah, I'm Bethany Landy.
Dalila Ali Raja.
Gloria Bigelow.
Nikki Castor.
Tatum Durock.
So what do you guys think? Are you getting the sexy time on during the Rona? What's happening there, girls?
I felt so stressed, but it's hard and I know that some people like the stress, I know there's like that famous quote from T back in the day. It's like the stress makes her horny. Stress does not usually make me horny.
I forgot about that.
Sometimes it can be a release, but it's like I feel like overwhelmed by so much that's going on that it's harder for me to sometimes connect in that way.
And I think that's a major thing. The impact of stress on our reproductive system is massive, and in every level. Like if we're not calm, so like when we're really chilled out and when we're calm, like our body does all these little jobs, such as refilling the saliva in our mouth, which is why we get dry mouth when we're stressed, and why we drool when we have really good sleep. Right? And it also does little jobs, like refilling our tear ducts. So when we're super stressed, I don't know if you've ever gone to the point that you just have no more, you're crying, but there's no more water coming out. Well, it's not only there that it's doing it. So it's not only just, but
I know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Tatum.
This is where she's headed. Liquidity conversation.
So, I mean, there's really, apart from the mental kind of, higher adrenaline means that we become a bit more kind of myopic and a bit more selfish, because we're designed to kind of look after ourselves in a crisis, like biology, to kind of run or get out or whatever. But so we tend to have that as a wall to connection, but there's also like really big physiological problems, not problems, but like hurdles that we don't always give time and space to. Like we kind of go, oh, I'm stressed, but not necessarily what effect that's having on our bodies.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
That's a lot to chew on there.
The other regions don't get as wet, So Megan Thee Stallion are not having that problem this week, but some people probably are.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, a little bit of stress like can impact the nervous system, but long-term stress impacts the endocrine system, which affects your adrenals, your sexual reproductive organs, your digestion, heart, lungs, your thyroid, parathyroid, the glands, the guardian of your health. So it's actually imbalanced, right? It's the sympathetic is driving, and so it needs a little more peace and pleasure so you can actually enjoy the sex, right? It's so you can actually like feel relaxed enough to enjoy the pleasure of the connection. But yeah, it has long-term, short-term and long-term effects, but you can be rebalanced so that you feel more pleasure and connected and sexier. Like I think assign yourself healthy pleasures in your day.
Yeah.
And one of the other names for the relaxation, the resting nervous system, so the parasympathetic nervous system, you sometimes hear it called the rest and digest nervous system because it does all these, functions like absorbing our food. But it's also, I've heard it referred to as the tend and befriend, because when we are calmer, we tend to be a little bit nicer to ourselves and to other people, which is why when we're really stressed, it's actually really hard to look after ourselves. So that tending and befriending, I think, is quite a nice way of thinking about like, okay, like what is going to chill me out and make me a bit nicer to myself and others.
I definitely think there's something to that tend and befriend thing, because there have been times, I feel like this whole situation has been quite a roller coaster ride, right? But there have been times where I feel like I've been doing a very good job of just like taking care of myself. Like I know that I don't have control over what's going on out there. So I'm doing the best I can. Now this fluctuates. Some weeks I'm like batshit crazy. But when I am really together, I'm doing those things. Like I'm getting up and I'm doing my yoga in the morning and I'm going for a walk and I'm lighting candles. And sometimes it's just me here. but I'm lighting the candles. I'm like listening to the music. I'm doing all of those things that I know help me to feel better. And I think those are helping me to be like a better girlfriend and more affectionate and more kind and more sweet. So I think there is something to just like, that shit's crazy out there. Can't do anything about that. I can do something about like how I treat myself and take care of myself.
That's great.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had some, oh, sorry, go ahead, Beth.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have the same, I have a playlist. I mean, I got my, girl power songs together playlist. I mean, I have that going. The same thing. I'll like, from where I moved now, so I'm close to the beach. I was just making sure that I get out there, and I'm like, the beach is right there.
Yes, so good.
Oh. And, I'll just even take just a 30-minute walk, 15 minutes up, 15 minutes back home and back to the computer, where I'm sitting here in my apartment all day, staring at the computer screen working. And I'm just like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yes.
And I've also discovered when I'm with my person I'm dating, nooners, all about nooners, because in our schedule, we're so booked, like call, meeting, but there's somewhere around that noon to 2,
Healthy.
I don't have anything going on. And he's like, I don't have anything going on either. I'm like, we're on. Cool.
The day immediately is better. Immediately.
It's better. My afternoon is awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything's better.
able to get so much done.
Energy. Yeah, it's
endorphins going.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a lot of time outside, which has been helping me a lot. Like it's kind of those things of recognizing what I needed to do to make myself feel better and to ground, because when I feel off kilter, my therapist, love her, she was like finding actual physical ways to ground if I'm not able to like get to it in another way. So like walking on the earth, with my feet actually touching the ground, or like taking baths with like Himalayan sea salt and like bentonite clay that are like earthy and like pull the toxins out, but they also really connect with like something earthy feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this like really once I got my mosquito repellent thing going outside, like I can spend like hours and hours and hours out there and just feel like much calmer and much more at peace and much more something. It's just, yeah.
I think there's something about that, because that reminds me, I started gardening, and I've never been like a garden lady or whatever. I'm so tempted to go get this tomato that I grew because I'm so proud of it. But I do think there's something to like being outside and being in the dirt. And normally I bought these gloves and I was like, I don't even want to put the gloves on. I know I'm not getting a manicure. Ain't nobody seeing my nails. So I might as well go ahead and like actually put my fingers in the dirt and do the things. And I do think that has been really feeding my soul and keeping me preoccupied with something, growing and something beautiful, as opposed to other things.
Yeah, and there's something about gardening where you're watching things grow that you're like, and that you eat them. Like, I don't know how to describe it to people who haven't done it before, but like, it's like a little magical thing every day when you see how much bigger something's gotten, or that there's a blossom on something. You're going to go get your tomato, aren't you?
I kind of want to see it. I was going to bring it up if she didn't go.
I'm not anywhere near my garden to be able to do this, to go grab it right now, but we have like these cucumbers, and it's like overnight, it seems like they went from like being this small to like being this big. Wow. Oh, look at your tomato.
Look at Terry.
Terry?
It's beautiful.
That's so cute.
And they taste better too.
So I'm wondering, so gardening and Terry the tomato is somehow enriching our sex lives. Like, this is really, I mean, I'm wondering, like, can the two get closer together? Do you have a garden that you can have sex in the garden? Like,
we just got a hammock, and our neighbors just put up an 8-foot wall, so they can't see us in the hammock anymore. So maybe.
Were they tired of seeing you in the hammock? No, they put up the wall for you?
Listen, it's the only privacy. They're kind of like close to that side of our yard, and it's where we hang out most of the time. And I think they just wanted some semblance of privacy because they can't go anywhere. And they've got a very small space. So, I mean, I was the height of this wall. It's like a bamboo wall. And I was like, it's really 8 feet tall. Okay. But we had put up like partitions because we wanted a little bit more privacy. I was like, now everybody got a lot of privacy, lots of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do that.
We could do that because our neighbors on the other side, we've got jasmine growing on that wall, and you can see between it, but not all the way to the other side of the yard. You know what I mean?
Oh
Are you
my.
slightly less stressed? I was going to say at the beginning you were saying that you were so stressed about this situation that you found yourself sort of not as into your normal.
Yeah, I think that I'm getting, it goes in waves.
Mhm.
So it'll like, sometimes it'll get a little bit better. And then it's this weird thing of like, my therapist described it as a hurricane. Like you're in the eye of the hurricane, but then the hurricane moves. So then you're not in the eye anymore. And then you have to find the eye again so that it's calm. So that's kind of what's been happening. So it's like, it'll seem like it's peaceful for a minute and then either something will happen or I'll experience feelings or emotions or something that I wasn't expecting or I mean, there's so much stuff, or like fears just come up. Like they just, two of my cousins tested positive for COVID and one thought that she might've had it because Georgia's making all the teachers go back to school. But it's like, just like everything seems like it's calmed a bit and everybody's doing good. And then all of a sudden you get calls saying like, oh, such and such has this or whatever. So like you may have found a way through and then something kind of pops up. But then I'm able to find the calm again. It's like, it's just like a consistent re-anchoring in the eye of the storm instead of in the chaos.
Maybe the hammock can be your eye of the storm.
I think it is a part of the eye of the storm for us for sure. Like we can nap in it. It's like, you have no idea. Like, it's like, it was like, this was one of the best purchases I made for our anniversary, this hammock. It's really good.
What you mentioned about privacy in your yard, I think that is also a big thing for a lot of people right now is like, so some people might be the only person in their house, in which case they can be as loud as they like. But a lot of people have, you know, extra people in their home without that time where they're out. And that, I think that's really hard for people to navigate, finding that privacy.
Yeah, I think on both sides, inside and outside, because you're with people all the time, and that just was not normally the case. I find the few times that my wife has to go out, it's like, oh, and I'm not one of those people that's ever needed like by myself time. Because I always got it when people were at work or doing whatever, like you got it anyway. But now it's like, oh, it's like actually like it feels vastly different to have even any moments of like privacy and all of that, you know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Do you find that your partners are seeing things that they haven't seen before during this time? Like, is there any kind of new negotiations? Because that can also like affect sex life, right? Because if you're in a position before where, you know, say on your date night, you got ready, you know, while they were at work and then you were kind of ready to go when they got back, like there would have been these kind of natural rhythms and now that's all out. They seeing this new side of you.
I wish I did it more. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's where I think that date night thing still comes in handy, you know. So I like to cook, and because I'm working from home now, so I've been doing more like really intentional, like great dinners and champagne and just being real cute. I figure just might as well just turn up the cute. We're in here. We're gonna be in here. So
I'm cooking too. I'm
cooking a lot.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to be like intentional, being like, you know, like I know that they like shrimp scampi, so I'm gonna like do all the things to make the thing and to set up the champagne and to like get them a cocktail and be like, you have that. I'm gonna. So I think I'm being more cute because we're seeing each other all the time. So I figure I might as well just, you know, like just make sure to remind you how cute I am. You know what I mean? Just like doing this thing.
I feel like I need to do more of that. Maybe that may be part of what, like for our anniversary, I did like a whole big thing that made me so happy though. Like I turned the garden into like seriously like a magical place, like fairy lights and Moroccan lanterns over the Buddha fountain, and like got these like flameless candles that you can turn on with a remote control and like set up like
anything with a remote. Yeah.
Girl, listen, I can go out and do like dit, 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 and all of a sudden it's candlelit outside with it looks like it's got flames. It just loving it. And then did like a whole spread on the table. And we worked together to do some of it, but most of it, like I like to decorate. I like to make things pretty. I'm a Libra. And it really did. I was like, this feels good. I got like a champagne bucket sent from a couple of vintage ones sent from Europe over here. So it felt like home for her more because she's from Europe, and like did these things. And I was like, this felt so good. I was like, it makes me want to do it more, but like I didn't, like without a special occasion, I wasn't necessarily thinking of it. And I think maybe infusing more of that would actually be really awesome, because the feeling of it when we had the spread out there, fire pit close to the table so that we weren't cold, you know, at night. We're in LA, but it still get cold at night. So that like we're sitting out there with our music and everything, like we can't go out to restaurants and sit inside or whatever, but you can make it so personal to you in your own space. Whereas like going to a restaurant, you're choosing their environment, but at home you can like literally turn it into your own kind of magic that you know you and your partner really love.
Nikki, what are your thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, I think I am also, you know, dating a Libra, and I know, like for myself, I'm like, okay, what are things that I know she loves that I'm also good at? Like I have a massage table. I know the acupressure points and the meridians of the body. So I massage her outside.
Yes, God.
With some music that I know that she loves. And I just give her a full body massage. We tricked out our patio, so it's like aesthetically very pretty. Same thing with a hammock. I definitely tend to more of the physical and very physical, and then some of the service-based things that I know that she loves. Mm-hmm. And so we, you know, yeah, and making dinner special, or making something a little more special, or like having family time with Lucy and taking her to the dog park is something that makes her really happy too, you know, but.
Is she an acts of service person too, Nikki?
She is. Mm. She is, but I do really well with touch. Mm-hmm. Very physical.
You can combine those two so wonderfully.
Yeah, that's great with massage. You're literally combining them.
And literally the thing that I know there are terrible things happening, but the thing that I literally miss the most is like my weekly massage in Larchmont. Like to not like have that, you know, I bought myself all kinds of things. I got another thing that I just, like, so to have that is like huge.
Thanks. Yeah. I feel very good at it because it's very loving, and because I love the body so much, I know it, and I know what it's doing. So I feel like it's, and I'm consistent. I can do it forever, anytime.
Yeah, that's a gift.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Another thing I think that I have been doing lately is turning on like older music, like music not from this time period, but sometimes I'll be like, let's go back to like our college days, and I'll put on like 90s R&B, and it's something about that also does something in my brain, and it puts me like in a different time. I just feel like I'm in a different place. It's like when I started watching just like Living Single compulsively, because I just wanted to be in a place that felt not this. And so that happens with the 90s music. I'll put on 90s music and be like, let's dance, and we're just back in college.
Yes.
You know? So that's just another thing that I found that's been like helpful for the relationship. It's just like, let's go to a different era.
Yeah, totally.
I travel a little.
Yeah.
You have a playlist deliberately, like a sex playlist, like that if you hear that music, you want to have sex, like
I got all kind of playlists. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So many playlists.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the mood playlist, but I'm feeling like that's a good idea.
It's a very
I did label mine on Spotify.
Yeah,
Like everyone else has got like some kind of label to it, and I was like,
the unnamed playlist.
You should name it WAP.
That's
the song, the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion song.
Oh, I heard it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We don't have anything else to say about that, I guess.
Did you hear the clean version or the dirty version?
Yeah,
the dirty version.
Okay, the dirty version's too much for me, and that's saying something.
That's saying something. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm sitting down. I would have fainted at that.
The clean version is a bop. It's so good.
Okay, I haven't heard the clean version either.
Yeah, I was just like, oh.
Watch the video, which is beautiful. The video is beautiful, and got a lot of beautiful, beautiful women in it, as you would imagine. There's water squirting out of breasts, but just, you know, like once you get past that part of it, which is where it starts, just keep watching.
Okay.
Really awesome.
Yeah, check it out. We can put a link to that. Oh, I also want to link to all of the candles that can be remote controlled. Just,
yeah, like put together the sexy links. We'll put together the keep.
I'll put in like the fairy lights. I found like cute, like decently priced fairy lights and the flameless candles. They're great, and it's like a set of 9. It's not that expensive either. It's like $20 for a set of 9.
There's
I would-
also, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say there was one thing I was wanting to bring up about this and I hadn't remembered it yet. About, are you guys doing anything like pulling out the like sexy lingerie? I mean, are you trying to set up these? Because obviously we've thought a lot about our meals. We've all talked about how great we gardening and meals. But I was like, are you guys pulling out anything extra like that? Like putting some extra on or anything?
For the anniversary, I did an extra like dress up sexy cute and I at first like we were like gonna be comfortable. I was like, I just can't do it. I'm making things so pretty. I've got to like do something that's like sexy and pretty that I'm gonna wear too. Yeah. But yeah, I haven't been doing like the sexy lingerie though. What about you guys?
You know, it's so much of like sweatpants and leggings.
That's what I'm saying.
I literally I just wash the same clothes like over again and just put it out. I just put them back on. And so I haven't done a lot. I've done 2 times where I've been like intentionally gotten cute. All like top layers, bottom layer, like intentional being cute about it. But I think there is something to that because you're right. Like I am like living in like holy jeans and t-shirts and I mean, the no bra thing is probably cute, but other than that, like, yeah.
I found myself that this is the reason I sort of brought this up is because I tried to shake myself out of those 4 outfits that you're talking about that I think the first 2 months, I feel like I just rotated the same thing. I'm like, honey, these are my only 4 t-shirts.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He literally could not care. Doesn't care.
Just get naked.
But yeah, oh yeah, he's like, I think you have too many clothes on, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can fix that. But then I was like, okay, I need to like spice it up a little bit. I'm gonna wear something different than these 4 schluppy things. So I kind of did a couple of spicy things like that. Mm-hmm.
But did you notice, even if you appreciate it, did it make any difference?
Honestly, I think
it didn't, because it doesn't to me either. I fucking love it, and I know Layla loves being sexy, and I'm like, fuck, I am so excited already that I appreciate it, and I know you put a lot of work into it, like making it, like
I'm sure.
I know.
So Nikki, you're saying if I dressed up for you, you wouldn't even care?
Oh, she's frozen.
I think she's frozen. Oh no.
Of all the times to freeze.
I know. Right in the middle of that rant.
Right in the middle of that question.
Taking that moment to absorb
the... She's absorbing this, really letting it sink in. Come back.
She'll come back.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, now we're back. We're back.
Oh, it's so funny. You were frozen.
You were frozen.
Yeah, I told her, I read off some of the ideas because I just finished with a client online and I read off some of the ideas and that you suggested, Glow. And she was saying, oh yeah, definitely sexy, sexy, like keeping it sexy. And I was like, yeah, but I know sometimes you want to feel connected. I know, then I think I'm speaking to the collective group, excluding me. You need to feel always connected in order to be sexy. And I was like, sometimes you just need to get sexy to feel connected. And she's like, that's what guys say. That's actually what guys say. And I was like, but, and she goes, you tell that to the ladies and they will all laugh because no.
No. She's frozen again.
Oh no. But it's interesting because I do think that that's a very, like, people relate that to a masculine trait, or people who have more of a tendency towards a little bit more testosterone in their system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe it's my Gemini side or my amount of testosterone, but I can go either way on that. I'm like, I can either feel close and then I want to, have sexy time, or I'm like, I need to feel close. So
and I'm like, but that's it.
Oh,
lost her.
Now you're back.
Oh, there you are. Okay. You are back now. Yeah. What happened?
Wow, that one powerful chunk had some freezing sections. Okay.
Right.
Anyways, Layla's thought I would bring that up to you, and she's like, they're all going to disagree because they don't think like that, and you don't.
Well, Bethany was just saying she can go either way.
I
Okay.
can go either way, and that's and yeah, you know, the Gemini thing, or if it's just I have just enough spice of masculinity or testosterone in me, and I can go either way with that.
Yeah, exactly. I of course you like feeling connected, but also, you know, my Mars, my anger and my sex in relationships is in Scorpio. So I connect very deeply in the way that I communicate on that level.
I think my Mars is in Venus.
Mine is too.
Oh no, Venus has its own planet. So my Venus is
wait, Mars is in which?
So Mars is the anger and the sex, Venus is the love and the beauty. We have them both.
Yeah, but I think my Mars is in something that's not
like a different
more. It's like it may be in Libra, like
okay,
it's something that's like not like
totally.
Yeah, that's not something that lends itself towards any of that. It's like making it prettier.
Yes, like I would love long dinners and eye contact and poetry and music and lighting.
Oh God, yes. Even when I was like just
people. Let's talk about that lighting.
Yes. Do you know what's funny? I'll tell you something funny, and she won't even be upset if I say it, because sometimes we're like enjoying ourselves, we're being like totally intimate, and like she loves my attention, so then she'll want to talk about something. Because while we're, you know, and she has my full attention because I want to also talk about it, because I also want to continue.
You're like, is this going to get us to move on to the next step?
I was like,
whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, I'm with you 100%. And I'm also ready to go forward when you feel ready to go forward. But yeah, she likes my attention in those moments. I think it's funny. She realizes she likes to talk about things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like, you can't get the punani until we finish the discussion.
You talk about what I want to talk
right?
about.
Not all the time, but you know what I mean. Of course, it's always different. But
I think like things like just lighting and sounds. I think it's that sensory, you know, like all of those senses coming together and reconnecting with those things, you know, because the outside is doing what's doing, and it's like, how do you connect to those other things? How do you connect to like the smells that feel good, that smell good, and the lighting, which for me is like such an important, like I don't even like a spa that don't have good lighting.
Yeah.
I can't even go. I don't even want to massage at the lighting.
That harsh fluorescent.
I can dock the lighting, like, you know what I mean? So all of those kinds of like things, and just burning the incense and the amber and all of those kinds of things, I think are just helpful for the self, but also just helpful for connection.
And a lot of times they're the things that go out of my mind first. Sorry, T, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's actually a way to reduce if you're ever having a panic attack, and it's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's 5 things you can feel, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And actually tuning into the senses is actually one of the ways to like bring us into that calming nervous system. So if you think that actually in a really extreme situation where you're in a full-blown panic attack, that those things are really calming, then imagine half an hour of your favorite music. Imagine an hour of your gorgeous lighting, or, you know, that sense of taste, which is all of these things that we're talking about, is this getting into our senses as a way to connect with ourselves, and then, you know,
and also bringing your person into that too, because I feel like that person is, you know, cares about the world a lot, and is on social media and is on Twitter and is getting into that thing. So just finding ways to like bring them over,
distract her.
Yeah, distractify, bring her over to the light, you know, bring her into the lighting, bring her into, you know, the music and the 90s music, and, you know.
Yeah. I think we've all touched on it at some point in this, where, you know, a lot of it, whether it's anxiety, whether it's fear, the very first chakra is all about feeling safe and being and grounded, and your body is the container for that, feeling safe and grounded in your body. So whether it's the sensory system, whether it's tactile touch that is soothing for the nervous system, there's a multitude of ways to bring yourself back in your body where you feel grounded and safe, so that you can enjoy, like it's just quality time that we really love in so many ways, like being with ourselves or being with our partner or being with a friend that we just want to enjoy now, right? The present and all of its goodness, like we're okay in the moment. And so I think whether it's music or whether it's touch or the earth, these are all physical ways to self-soothe and to feel grounded and safe in our body, in which way can build up on the chakras, enjoy pleasure, live in our power, live with heart, communicate, dance. So these are all, I think it's really nice. And I just wanted to kind of collectively bring that together, because that's what we're all saying also as an aspect.
So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and someone was saying, please stop rushing masturbating. Like, take your time. Set it up, enjoy it. And I was like, what? I don't think I've ever heard someone say, like, take your time. But yeah, like,
I think people have a lot of ideas around shame around it, so they try and rush through it into the pleasure part of it, versus it actually being a sensual sensory experience that you're having that allows you to get in touch with your body, that allows you to release like yummy chemicals into your body that your brain is making. It relaxes you, it grounds and centers you. Like, it does a lot of things, masturbation.
So when I was 18, I was in college, right? One of the very first speeches I made was on masturbation. And the reason I did it is because I grew up with a lot of shame and guilt being Catholic around touching yourself, thinking about sex. And I learned that no, like, this is my body. It's my relationship with myself. And so I learned to, you discover what you want and what you like, because I hear too many horror stories about women not ever, having an orgasm, where I'm thinking, what in God's name is that, right? And it's not to be mean or shameful, but what I learned is I'm like, we discover what we like and who we are, and people will come and go, relationships will come and go, but the longest relationship is the one we'll have with ourselves. And I said that at 18. Do you know what I mean? And I am just obviously pro the relationship with yourself. We love learning about ourselves. We love discovering what we love and what we don't love. And it actually makes us better people and better partners.
Yeah. So I also think it's interesting, that thing you were talking about like, because it's not just Catholics have that experience, obviously,
right.
But so do a lot of other people.
Yes.
But in reality, what they're trying to do usually is they correlate masturbating and orgasms with that kids are going to want to have more sex. But what it actually does is lower the amount of sex that kids are having with other people, because they're able to pleasure themselves and discover for themselves. And so there's less teenage sex that usually happens with kids who masturbate. And for people who are born gender assigned at birth female, like, there's a lot of things about discovering your own body and knowing what you want and what you need that creates a different kind of dynamic once you start having sex with any other partners, that you have a lot more autonomy and power with yourself if you know your body.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Glo, were you about to say something? You shaking your head.
No, it doesn't surprise me that was Nikki's first speech.
Yeah.
That tracks, Nikki, that tracks.
Thank you. But you see the root of it, right? The longest relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was like. Yeah, that was.
Who were you speaking to?
Yeah, what class was it?
It was like a speech debate class.
I love it.
Okay.
And so I had 3 different responses. One person, there was a group that was like, like, yeah, this is like real information.
Yeah.
The second type of person was like, couldn't look at me. And then the third type of people were like, like, so like,
yeah, that's cool.
Like, this is happening. And then my teacher, bless her heart, she was amazing. She was the head of all communication. She stood up, she had one smaller leg, and like, you know what I mean? Like one of those, she had a bigger shoe on one, and she stood up and she clapped. And I was like, yes, because it was heartfelt. It had relevance, and I also had really great information to share.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I felt good. Thank you.
That was so good to be so supported in that moment, because that's like taking a leap, having an adult that supports you through that is a huge thing.
Yeah, and I remember the visual, so that's why I kind of included what she looked, because I just remember her, like, she was so positive. Yeah, I appreciated her positive response, because I'm like, well, this could go either way, but this is for me. This is what I want to talk about.
Awesome.
We could talk about sex all day, but we better wrap this up.
Yes.
What are our takeaways? What are our takeaways?
I'll say my takeaway is that I think that we collectively are all doing really great things for self-care and, you know, sexually as well.
Yeah.
I know I feel like I am. So that's my takeaway, is that keep doing what y'all are doing, because you know, it's working. You're working your way through this whole Rona thing, however you have to do it. And that's, I think, the advice I would give to anybody out there. Like, make sure you take time for self-care. Like, and self-care can be yourself and a partner, whatever.
Yeah, and I think you guys had so many good things that you guys are doing that I want to kind of steal them. Like, I think the, like, Gloria, like you, the getting cute and like making that, like, kind of taking, not just making it a special occasions thing, but doing something more often that's like that for me and my partner, I think would be really helpful. And maybe for my own spirit, getting, like, every once in a while, like, dressed up and cutified and so that sort of thing. Yeah, I think those two, like, those kind of things about maintaining those things, I think is, like, a good one for me. There was one more, but I don't remember it right now, so go on.
I think for me, it was kind of that thing of whether or not it makes a difference to your partner, that kind of feeling sexy, that, like, sometimes it is it's not necessarily the lingerie or the anything, it's how you feel when you're picking it out and you're already thinking about sex. So you're kind of, like, already thinking about the occasion and kind of almost like defining space, making space for it, that I think makes it very conscious. And then if you feel really good, then your partner is often picking up on that. And also that, you know, because obviously so many ups and downs in the relationship. And if your partner isn't on the same page as you are right then and there, that actually you can still take care of yourself. You can still feel sexy in yourself. You can still do a lot of these things for you and taking your time.
The time travel thing, that was the other part. The Gloria, the time travel thing, like using music and different things to shift to a new era.
I wanted to say that one too. Yes, I'm going to do a playlist for that.
Yeah.
Nikki, what about you?
Taking the time, just like taking the time to, why are we rushing through that? Oh, what? Oh my God, I love that. Because now I can be like, I'm gonna give myself a bath, put on my coconut oil and light my candles and just hang out with myself.
Yeah, I was, just because I've been working a lot with clients online, and there's mostly women. And one of the things that comes up is, like, you know, instead of feeling like we needed to deserve, like, once we get all these things done, because everybody's such doers, once we get all these things done, then we deserve to relax, right? As opposed to feeling like the polarity of that is pleasure. So assign ourselves healthy pleasures, which is part of self-care, doing things because they just feel good, right? Giving ourselves a day of that because it's just, we do deserve it. So we just have to kind of give ourselves that opportunity. And as far as, like, being sexy time, like, I feel you. Like, I do spend a lot of time on my bra and panties just because. So what I know Layla wants to feel connected on, like, an emotional and mental, but I also feel like I also know Libras that are also happy with the something positively stimulating on the outside. And in the same sense, I do think about, like, I know she loves when I clean or vacuum or, like, make her coffee. Like, I do things because they're easy for me or I'm good at them and I want to make her life more enjoyable. And I think we should all continue to create playlists because they benefit every occasion, whether we're chilling outside in the patio for sexy time, for cooking time, just for our own chillin' time, like even our favorite jams, because I know some of my favorite music maybe isn't necessarily Layla's. So I think that the better we take care of ourselves, the more we can enjoy our partnership too.
Guys, you should send me the links to your playlist too.
I was like, I'll let y'all in on my 90s feel good.
So. Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
That made me very happy. Well, ladies.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.